So I think everybody has heard of this term before. So if you haven't heard of it, I'll just write it out. The spotlight effect. So it's commonly used in psychology, in studying behavior patterns. So what is the spotlight effect? So let's start off by understanding what a spotlight is. So I'm going to draw a brief illustration of what a spotlight is so you can see. Look at this illustration right here. This is what a spotlight is. So this is what a spotlight is. So you're on a stage and the lights are focused on you, solely focused on your entire body, just only you. And at this moment, all of the eyes are on you, the spectator's eyes, the audience's view. So this is a spotlight, what it is. So you can imagine going on stage to a competition or giving a speech. Like everybody is focused on you, on what you say, your movements, body gestures, and all that. It can also occur when, let's say, a girl who dresses super elegantly, has the most beautiful dress, has a very pretty face, and she just shows up to prom in that stunning, high fashion, high quality dress. And you can say that because everybody is just looking at her, just focusing on her, say like, oh my gosh, stunning. So this is another example of the spotlight, but actually not using light as an example. So what we see, this is what we expect reality is. This is our expectations, that people are going to always stare at us. This is what we expect. The tracing lines are representing the view of people, the eyes of people, or the ears of people. So we always think that people are always focused on us. But in reality, only one or a few people actually really notice us. You can see the other lines tracing outwards. What does that mean? Well, I'm going to explain to you now. We always think people focus on us, right? Like all eyes are on us. But in reality, people are focusing on other things that we might not know. So it can be literally anything. It can be about themselves. It can be thinking about other things. What is the next lecture? What is the next class? How am I going to pay my bills? Yes, you can dress nice, of course, and people are going to lay some eyes on you, of course, but no way that somebody's going to just straight up stare at you and just gaze at you in awe for a straight, like, more than 5 minutes. There is no way. At the most, maximum time, people do it for like maybe a few seconds. After that minute passes, it doesn't matter because their brains are going to shift to other things. So, and this comes from my personal experience. I realized when I started taking dressing more seriously. So this is one of my outfits right here, and this is how I look like. So I wore this, I remember, to my school. And then, yes, of course, there are going to be compliments and compliments. But I realized, like, after 1 minute, when everybody saw my appearance, some people don't even care about it. They just take a glance at it. Maybe they think like, oh, it's nice. He's nice. Like, he's dressing well. And after that, they just go back to studying their own things or just on their phones. So you notice how people don't really pay 100% full attention on you, because there are already so many things surrounding them, and they also have to focus and think about themselves. What about themselves? People always channel their energy most of the time inwards, thinking about themselves, on what are they doing, am I doing things right? And also, people are often insecure about their own looks, so in the end, they won't have that much time or energy to just focus on you. And you don't have to be that insecure anymore, because you know this as a fact. You can try this. Try wearing like super nice, dress up nicely, wear long pants, wear boots, kind of gel your hair, and then you'll realize that. So you might get a few compliments like, "Oh, you look very aesthetic today. You're very well put together." But soon you'll realize that the compliments start to fade away or get lesser and lesser because people just don't put all of their energy on you. You have to understand this. And it's also kind of unreasonable, right? And it doesn't make sense if people just kind of bombard over you for like your looks for just over 5 minutes or consecutively non-stop. That is not plausible at all. So go ask a friend like, hey, can you see my pimples? He will probably say yes, but because you mentioned it. Well, if you didn't mention it, he wouldn't really care about it. And most people wouldn't really care about just one pimple. Like, it doesn't really matter. People don't put that much attention on just that small pimple. So for people who are insecure about how they look like, doesn't matter if it's at work or in school, just know that it doesn't really matter that much because people don't really care or put that much attention on you. That is why insecurities are often magnified in the theater of our minds. And when you bring it to reality, when you bring that insecurity to another person, you realize that maybe it isn't that big. Like, they will just scrub it off like, oh, it's nothing, like a pimple, like, what's that? And I promise you, just focus on yourself. Just be confident in what you are. So be honest with yourself right here. When you see someone who dresses nice, who has a good figure, you won't be like obsessed with them for like over 3 minutes straight, non-stop. No. You have to be aware that your mind also shifts to other things. So you don't really pay much attention to most of the people too. So you being honest with yourself. And so if you start to realize that you don't pay much attention to other people, you just give them a glance and a good compliment, then your mind shifts to elsewhere. Then that is probably what other people are doing too. And so be more confident in yourself. Show yourself love. And just know that people won't constantly judge you or criticize you because of your insecurities. Your insecurities are often just magnified by you. And when you put it into real life perspective of other people's views, they won't really magnify it. They will just see it as something that is subtle or doesn't really affect them at all, or it just doesn't really change anything. It's just a small insecurity. It's just your nose. It's just a pimple. It's just height, after all. And so, in the end, we are humans, right? So, no point for everybody just constantly judging and criticizing or just looking at us. So, that's basically it for the video. I hope you guys gained insight and value out of this. If you guys did, make sure to check out my other videos too. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.